All right, ladies and gentlemen, and now we're back with a community showdown featuring the Tomb Kings, who shall be led by Desert Fox. And today, my friends, he faces off against the Vampire Counts, who shall be led by Poison Ducky. Coming in with Vlad von Karstein. Always happy to see him in action. Very, very fun lord. Well, what's really cool about this matchup in today's community showdown is going to be triple Necropolis Knight with Halberd against triple Blood Knight. So it's very much going to be an undead cav party. Granted, Blood Knights do cost, I think, about 200 or 300 gold more. So there will be extra resources for the Tomb Kings elsewhere to help kind of fight that cav engagement. Obviously, in a vacuum, I'm fairly certain Blood Knights would win against Necropolis Knights if they get the charge. But without the charge bonus, I don't know. It would be interesting because the poison plus the better weapon strength and the AP could be a difference maker. But again, on the charge, Blood Knight should win that. That's something to perhaps test. But, you know, they have Invocation of the Heck. The Necropolis Knights don't. That's really the big factor, and that's why Blood Knights are one of the best cav in the whole game. But it's going to be zombies in the front line, just all chaff. Secondary line's going to be Graveguard. No surprises there. Graveguard are very, very good against Tomb Kings. Obviously, not very good against monsters, but if they're fighting against Tomb Guard and or Nehekar Warriors, Skeletons, they will win that fight very, very handedly. So, triple Graveguard, it's going to be Vlad and double White King. White Kings with Scab's Graith is also quite good. If you take a look here at the Tomb Kings infantry formations, Scab's Graith is an item that's actually on the White Kings. You can activate it, and it does pretty much a cone effect. And it does a lot of damage against tightly packed infantry, which is pretty much the name of the game for the regiments here of the Tomb Kings, who fight very, very close quarters. So the Scab's Graith should be quite good against those guys. But again, triple Blood Knight is going to be the epicenter of this undead army. So, and now here for the forces of the Bone Daddies, it's going to be Ark in the Black. It also is going to be a Necrotect as well. And aside from that, Necropolis Knights and a bunch of infantry. So yeah, it's cav play across the board. Arkin will be very good here. Fate of Buna, the Buna, is going to be very, very good against Blood Knights. And also using skeleton summons from the staff of Tombblade of Arkin to break the cav charges could be a big deciding factor. Because again, the Blood Knight charges are very, very damaging. Those things hit like absolute trucks. So if you could slow them down using the Tombblade, trap them, countercharge them with your Knights, play a defensive game, that could be very strong. Now, my one concern here for the Tomb Kings army is if they don't win the cav engagements, they're going to have almost nothing to deal with the Graveguard. I mean, yeah, the Tomb Prince is all right, but like this Tomb Guard and Nehekar Warriors, they're not going to be efficient at taking out these bad boys here. So both players just kind of jockeying for position, riding around the front line. You can see the Blood Knights are mirroring the movement here of the Necropolis Knights, trying to make sure they don't get a free charge. And Vlad is going to be interesting here as well. He'll be tough to kill, and he'll help you chew through the infantry. The Master of Beguilement will also help in those cav engagements as well. Now the main fighting is underway. You can see Skeleton Warriors have engaged with Vlad here, and the Sneaky Snake Knights trying to get the fight here. You can see trying to pick off those Blood Knights. The Fate of Buna does go down. I would imagine Invocation of the Heck will be coming up soon to countermand that and certainly push it back. Graveguard piling in the front line. Blood Knight's going for a frontal charge, actually, so opting to charge in. Got to make sure they don't overextend, and it looks like the Invocation of the Heck has gone down, so it will probably won't fully counter it, but obviously it will help quite a bit in healing those models up and making sure you don't lose them. Now here we do have the sneaky cav coming around the side. Definitely a good time for the infantry to kind of muck them up. Ooh, nice Tombblade of Arkin there, mucking up the Sternsman, but the Blood Knights do get the charge. Although it looks like the charge was a little bit lackluster. It seems like they didn't make the best contact. And also, is that going to be a Soul Blight? No, Van Hell's Dance Kebab going down, which does get melee attack. And as far as the buffs go, Master of Beguilement going down from Vlad as well, debuffing those units. So now this is the fight for the fate of Middle-earth. We have one Blood Knight in the front line who's in a very bad engagement. They're just staying in combat here and are taking a lot of damage. But the other two Blood Knights seem to have gotten a good charge. I mean, Necropolis Knights here, 17 models. And yeah, there's something a little bit awkward about this concave. You'll notice there's two groups of Necropolis Knights who've like attacked here, and a lot of the Blood Knights are like stuck here, not really doing much. So I think the concave engagement was a little bit better for the Tomb Kings. Granted, it appears to be a pretty even trade, as one Blood Knight is pretty much full health. These guys are very, very low. But, you know, something else that the Tomb Kings have going for them is they have another group of Necropolis Knights here on the far side who are sitting quite happy. So I'm so tempted to say the undead, but the Vampire Counts definitely need to get a good engagement here and countercharge. But look at the weaving of the seam here. Very, very good control here by the Tomb Kings. He's able to get through, and now he's going to be rear charging onto these Blood Knights. Granted, the Blood Knights with the sustainability and Vlad von Karstein here are starting to turn this fight around a little bit. And look at this, it's mind games on mind games. So he gets flanked, then he pulls back his Blood Knights and then flanks his flank. It's like the exhibit meme from the early 2000s. Brings back some memories there. But the Blood Knights do get a good engagement. Corpse Guard with the Unholy Lodestone is here, and also two White Kings, which I certainly think is probably going to be favoring, not the undead, the Vampire Counts. It's going to be favoring the Vampire Counts, but you know the Tomb Kings are actually doing surprisingly well in the front line because many of the Graveguard have been pulled back here to help out in this fight. So that has left these Skeletons to pretty much dominate the zombies in the front line, or the Tomb Guard to dominate the zombies. There are no mere Skeletons, they are Tomb Guard. But it appears to be a close fight. Wins the Magic situation could play into the final outcome here, of course, as another Fate of Buna could be very, very punishing if any of the Blood Knights are healthy, especially against these ones. Spirit Leeches, summoning Skeletons on top of Blood Knights is very effective, but this is also a big X factor as well. You have Skeleton Spearmen coming back, and in sustained combat, Blood Knights will be very terrible against Skeleton Spearmen. Certainly not very good against such units. So one group of Blood Knights is going down, but so are two groups of Necropolis Knights here. This one Blood Knight does have 19 models, and the other ones are getting Spirit Leeched as well, but Invocation of Nehek overcasted there. Though did it hit all three? It looks like unfortunately it only got two of them, but that was probably as good as he could have done given the circumstances. Something else too. White Kings are going to be very efficient at clearing out. Scab's Race going down. You guys have seen them over the course of the game. Been able to do some big damage against Kepra Guard as well as the Nehekar Warriors, but honestly it's very hard to tell who's winning this fight. In the front, these Graveguard are just grinding through, just buzzsawing through the Skeleton Spears of the Tomb Kings there. Vlad von Carstein in very, very good shape. Necropolis Knights have 7 models here, 3 models here, and 7 here. Wow, how do they still have 7? That's pretty insane. And the Blood Knights are pretty much on death's bed. We have 16, we have 3 it looks like, and then 1 there. Yeah, they're in bad, bad shape. So for the Vampire Counts, I think their key to success is keeping these Blood Knights alive, making sure they get good charges, but the ground situation is a little bit scary. Ushapti Summon has been used here by the Tomb Kings. Ark in the Black just riding in circles, cackling, activating his Tomb Blade or his Staff of Nagash to get that juicy cooldown reduction and the Winds of Magic. And now Vlad von Carstein getting in there. Vlad and the White King going after the Necrotech, which is a great play. They're all pretty good against infantry characters. I know it's kind of hard to give you guys a close-up here because of the blur, the heat blur, which I think is kind of cool that it actually comes into play. But yeah, this Necrotech isn't long for this Earth, assuming he's focused on properly by Vlad as well as that White King. The other White King over here is in great shape. I mean, Necropolis Knights with Halberds do have decent AP, but against a foot character, they're not going to be super good. They are Halberd units. Their attack rates are slower. They're more designed to kill large units. Oh, this could actually be very big for the Vampire Counts. If the Blood Knights could actually surround Ark in the Black, they could do a ton of damage against him. Even just 16 of those bad boys. Keeping those Blood Knights alive as a Reaver unit here in the late game, I think is going to be super impactful. So here come the Blood Knights. The Knights of Red keep charging in to the Nehekar Warriors. Able to buckle those guys pretty efficiently. You can see negative 47, negative 44. They're certainly breaking down. Blood Knights are always one of those units that, man, if they're still alive in the late game, they can really be the butterers of the bread. This Necrotech somehow still alive with his Wonder Woman whip here. 439. It looks like a Spirit Leech is going to be going down here. Very, very good play there by the Tomb King player. Definitely a priority target to focus down. Vlad and the White Kings are going to be an absolute nightmare to get rid of, especially now that the Ushapti Summon is gone. I don't see too many avenues for them to be taken out. And here we do have the Kepra Guard. They're crumbling down. Negative 18 leadership. Arkin's coming in. I would imagine he probably has some skeleton summons in his back pocket, but I just don't think he has the stopping power to kill all 3 characters. And you can see the bounce power is reflecting that. Man, the scab scrapes this game have been great. Be able to get another one right there, and I would imagine they probably have a fair amount of kills. 85 on this one, and 69, that's what she said, on that one as well. I just can't resist. I'm sorry, guys. And Nehekar Warriors, 40, 46, and 34 there. Ark in the Black charging into the Graveguard here. Able to punt a couple of those guys. I mean, maybe a wild skeleton summon and like good cycle charging, because all the Vampire Count characters are on foot. I don't think that matters, though. I just don't think it's going to be enough. Like, they're just too healthy. So there's the first summon, going to be dropped here on the Graveguard. They'll take some damage from skeletons, but they have pretty decent melee defense and really, really good armor. So skeletons, of course, low melee attack and bad armor piercing. The formula there is not going to be in the favor of things. And yeah, from here, I just don't see how it's going to happen. It's more or less just going to be a grind at this point. I would be so shocked if they come back here. A little bit of fast forwarding because obviously undead grinding can be a little bit boring in the late game, but yeah, that's got to be it, man. I don't know what he's got. I think he literally just has that Lord there. So he's going to go in and meet his doom at the hands of these undead characters. Vlad von Carstein and his beat squad should be able to win the day. But yeah, well played to both players, man. And yeah, it was a fun game. I really enjoyed watching that one. Valiant defeat there for the Tomb Kings. Big props to Desert Fox for sending in a loss. Not too many people do that. It's very, very uncommon, and I can tell you from experience, everyone loses. But yeah, Desert Fox, man, big props for sending in a loss, and it was a great game. It was a very fun, like, thematic one. I don't think they planned that, but it came out to like 3 Necropolis Knights versus 3 Blood Knights. You get, you know, a relatively underused Lord and Vlad being actually pretty effective there. I think that was a really fun one. Yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit. Nehekar Warriors didn't do bad. They were able to grind in the front line. I'm still not fully sold on Nehekar Warriors, but because they just get smashed so hard by Graveguard, and they're so susceptible to cav charges. I don't know. I would probably opt to go. King of the Dead is really, really good at using Necropolis Knights. I think 2 Necropolis Knights is enough. I think what you do if you're the Tomb Kings here is you don't like take the open cav engagement. If you want to play with Necropolis Knights, you use like 2 of them. You cut one, cut the Nehekar Warriors, and then mix in a couple monsters. If you're able to get some like, you know, anti-infantry to kill the Tomb Guard, and you just like hide your Necropolis Knights behind spears and just countercharge the Blood Knights and just play defensively, I think you can win that grind. But there's so many different ways the Vampire Counts play this too. Sometimes you see gooses, so it's all over the place. But yeah, it was a great game. I mean, either player could have won. Just came down to a couple of cav engagements. It was super fun. So well played to Desert Fox, the mighty Sith Lord himself, and to Poison Ducky as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this Tomb King vs. Vampire Count game, the classic Cousins Showdown. And until next time, you guys stay safe in these dire times, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.